Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Commissioner's Corner. This is Season 5, believe it or not, the first official episode of the new season. Today we're going to be doing a little rundown on the scoreboard from last week, some tight games, some expected, shittiness, just really bad teams that I don't consider myself a part of anymore. And we're going to dig into a little bit of the rankings and where we're at right now. The first thing I want to get off my chest, as you all saw, Connor's rankings came out pre-week 1. Huey Lewis in the news, I believe, was ranked third. I'll leave it at that. Connor, if I know you're listening. You're a piece of shit for putting me at 3. I think I proved that my ranking deserves to be a lot higher. I know that a lot of people in this league agree with that in this new formed team that I've got going on. So, with that being said, let's get into it. First matchup we're going to talk about, it was Huey Lewis in the news versus I fucked your mom, and I literally fucked his mom, his sister, everybody, destroyed his bloodline. Cam's going to have nephews popping up everywhere because of what I did to him. 120-87. This guy had Mahomes, Cooper Kupp, DK Metcalf, the flashiness of that team. Earrings hanging off of everything, swagged out. But guess what? Joe Mixon, Nick Chubb, Darren Waller, Justin Jefferson, Terry McLaurin, too much for him. Slaughtered him nearly by 35 points. I mean, this guy is a fraud. Granted, he put up a lot more than some other people in the league, which we'll get into in the next matchup, but let's just have it on record. Winless last year, Huey Lewis in the news. 1-0. Maybe a favorite? I don't know. Could be. Let's move on, though. Pam was holding Jim back versus Luke's Belly Rolls. And, folks, I think we found our GOAT for last place. That's going to be Trey Buford, and Pam was holding Jim back, putting up 58 points. This is my team last year's numbers. That's how bad it is. When your main scorer is Antonio Brown, there's a problem. His second scorer, I don't even know what this guy's name is. His last name's Bass, T. Bass, had 11 points. And then some fraud Edmonds is getting in 10. But then you go up against Luke's Belly Rolls. I don't think Chandler's team's very good either. He's got Lamar, who could do good things, but his team kind of sucks. David Montgomery, he's played well in that first week, but how long is that going to last? So Luke's Belly Rolls gets the win at 1-0. Probably the worst 1-0 performance in the history of 1-0 performances, but we'll give it to him. Next, we're going to move to Nope Kobe versus Pardon My Team. The perennial powerhouse of Pardon My Team, Alvin Kamara, the glorious son of Ethan Moran's fucked up mind that, he just comes back to. Going up against his own Green Bay Packers, who are awful. Only put up 15 points in an 80-116 loss to Nope Kobe. I got to hand it to McInnes. Grant, I know you took a fucking smackdown on Saturday from the Kentucky Wildcats. Probably should have won about 52-7. We let them in the game. We wanted to get Missouri, in case we get to that college football playoff point where Kentucky's going to be at the end of the season, we wanted to make sure that our resume looked good and Missouri still looked like a good win. That's why we kept it close. Nonetheless, Nope Kobe gets the win, a 36-point win, 36-point win over Pardon My Team, the reigning champion, who looks to have some issues on that team, especially if he's going to use Tannehill throughout the season. Then we've got Keeking It Real versus Big Baller Brand. Two teams that I was very intrigued in how they would play out. Now, I'll say this. Keeking It Real wins by 13, 94-81. I think Keeking It Real's team is for real. He's got some great players. Russ, Chris Godwin, Dalvin Cook, his top 3 scorers this week. And then we go to Big Baller Brand, right? I'm going to say a fraud team. I'm going to say a fraud 0-1 team who is in 10th right now in the standings, I believe, but should probably be battling it out for Trey and last. He got lucky. Jalen Hurts put up nearly 30 points against an awful team. Carolina's defense gets 11 against the Jets, I believe they played. Yeah, it was Jets, Carolina, so that's probably never going to happen again, being that the Jets are the worst team in the league. So I think Elkert's zoning in that 70 to 75 range of points per week, where he's going to see himself in a battle for 10th, 11th, 12th. I really do. But nonetheless, Keeking It Real gets a 1-0 win. This is the team that Connor had ranked higher than me, 94 points. I don't know. And then we've got the Lake Show versus Margot's Loin. And my golly, did we almost have a shakeup in the house. Lake Show squeaks out a 7-point win. Going into that game, they were down, I believe, 0.3 Josh Jacobs was questionable at one point. It was looking pretty grim for the Lake Show. Josh Jacobs plays, racks up 16 points, and really just carried Ryan's team over the edge against a bad Margot's Loin team. This is another fraud team to keep an eye out for. Melvin Gordon, not it in the long term. Josh Allen, I'll give him that. Josh Allen, that might be the worst performance I've seen. I mean, he didn't play bad. 370 yards, a touchdown, and a pick, I think, or something like that. So it wasn't a bad game. It's just the production wasn't there. They lost that game. It was a bad first loss against the Steelers. Steelers have a good defense. What are you going to do? I mean, Josh Allen will probably do better. I'm still going with the narrative that Margot's Loin's a fraud team because I was calling it out that he was going to be dead last at the beginning of the season. We'll see what happens. I would love to see him commit the punishment. And then we've got our last matchup of the week, Let Mike Cameron Go versus Fire Goodell. Fire Goodell puts up 98 points, which would typically be enough to win a game. I mean, we saw the rest of these margins. He beats 75% of the teams in this league with 98.34 points. But he goes up against an actual juggernaut and Let Mike Cameron Go, who put up 131, the most points of anybody this week by about 11. He had Brady, Lockett, Thielen, all of them going off, 131 points. And commendable for Connor. I think Connor goes up in the rankings this week in his own power rankings. Maybe that's biased, maybe it's not. He's a communist, so who knows? And then we got Let My Cameron Go Joe, who, I haven't heard a word from in probably 6-7 years. Just comes in with 131 out of nowhere. So props to Joe. I don't think it's sustainable. Brady had a great game. Lockett had a great game. I don't think it'll happen again. I'm coming for you, Joe. I'm coming for that sweet white ass of yours, you son of a bitch. All right. Now we're gonna wrap up a little bit with standings and then a comment from me. I'm just looking into the future. So here we go, standings. Out of the 6-0 teams, we've got Let My Cameron Go up top, obviously because the most points at number 1. Huey Lewis coming in at number 2. Nope Kobe at number 3. Lake Show at 4. Keeking It Real at 5. And Luke's Belly Rolls at 6. Luke's Belly Rolls is going to drop in those rankings. I mean, he would be in 10th right now if he didn't play Trey. He would be in 10th place. Everybody outscored him he'd be in 11th. Part of my team outscored him. So he would be in 11th place, Luke Spellers will be, if he didn't play Trey week 1. This team's going to take a massive downturn in the next couple weeks. Out of the 1-0 teams, we go to Fire Goodell, who's going to shoot up when he gets his first win. Margot's Loin in 8th. I Fucked Your Mom in 9th. Big Baller Brandon 10th. Pardon My Team in 11th. And just by far the worst team. One of the worst team perform. I mean, I can remember putting up 50 points and how awful that felt. And just in my own head thinking, what the fuck did I do? But I drafted Kerryon Johnson in the 3rd round last year. Trey tried to draft well, and he put up 58 points. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about the worst of worst teams all time. This one might take the cake. Just a fucking shit show, Trey. I don't know what you were doing. Maybe it was the drugs. Maybe it was the alcohol. Who knows? Who really knows? But that's where we come out in rankings. And this is going to have a lot of shakeup over the next couple weeks. I mean, things are going to be moving. We just played one game, so half the teams are 1-0, half the teams are 0-1, as we know. But there's going to be a lot of shakeup. Look for some movement here. Connor's rankings, power rankings, should be coming out next week, I believe, as this is going to be the Commissioner's Corner for this week. Connor and I are going to kind of alternate things to keep the content fresh, as I said. Connor's going to do power rankings. Maybe I react to power rankings during the week. Maybe I don't. It won't be an official Commissioner's Corner episode when I react, but it will be just something for you guys to look forward to. And then Commissioner's Corner will come out the next week, and we'll alternate weeks like that. Last note, next week I will be announcing the official punishment. I am taking no requests for punishments. This will solely be the Commissioner's choice of punishment, and I will be participating in that punishment from last year because I feel bad. I genuinely feel bad as the only guy who's done a punishment in this league, and I feel a little bit of responsibility for that. There's going to be a stricter enforcement of if you don't do the punishment, you're kicked out of the league. I think Trey got off a little easy with his cleaning. We already kicked out Pace. Nobody could agree with the punishment on my thing, so I'm taking executive power, and I will make the decision on who gets punished and what they get punished for. So that's going to wrap it up for Commissioner's Corner week 1, guys. Let's have a fucking great week 2. Everybody get your Thursday football night in America hats on, and let's really rile it up, huh? Let's really do it. I mean, this is an exciting year. Huey Lewis in the news at the top. We've never seen it before. We have never seen it before. It's happening. This is real. Good night. Hasta la vista. Have a great one. Go drink some beer tomorrow with the Thursday Night Football gang. Let's do it.